Don't say anything stupid.
Hola, hello, and welcome to Blast Backstage. We're here in Madrid. How was the Spanish accent, fellas?
Pretty good.
Hey.
Madrid.
Madrid.
I think you only try to use the accent on Madrid.
I did.
The only part of the sentence
Yeah,
you get.
hola, sounded very English. Hola.
Hola.
I'm Adam Savage. I'm joined by
the
this
third
awesome
most
team here. Maniac, Nifty, Moses, and Launders. Welcome, fellas. We're in Madrid. First time here in Spain, Madrid. Are you all kind of here for the first time? How's it going?
Second time in Spain. First time was Valencia, 2014, for an event as well. Didn't come back even since. So first time in Madrid.
It was that bad the first time?
No, it was good. We won.
Oh, great.
I won that. So great memories.
Congratulations.
First time in
belated
Madrid,
congratulations.
Later.
Just a bit belated.
Just a bit, yeah. How about you, fellas? First time in Spain?
I was in Barcelona in 2015 for an event.
Yeah.
I was not competing. I was casting.
Okay.
It was great, yeah.
That was good.
Did you win?
You didn't win that one.
Yeah.
The Madrid one? No, the Barcelona one.
You didn't win that one.
I didn't.
That was when, Flusha, Fnatic, they were doing their thing.
Yeah, they were winning.
No, smashing it. Are you guys going to get a chance to kind of explore much while you're here? Are you here for like a short period of time?
The wine has been spectacular.
Has it?
It has been.
The red or the white?
I like the red.
I'm more of a red wine man, but I have experimented with the white in the middle of the day, like nice crisp white wine to cool things down.
There's a lot of good seafood, which is the problem.
Yes,
you normally have white wine with that, but honestly, the red wine is good.
Does anyone drink rosé wine anymore? Is that even a thing?
I do.
Yeah. You do really?
It's pretty good, yeah.
Is it?
Rosé is very
I've
southern,
had
I
rosé.
guess.
Okay.
South France, I guess Spain too.
It's too sweet.
Okay.
I don't know.
I don't do the rosé.
Not a thing.
Straight
Us.
hard.
Okay,
liquor,
sorry.
Moses.
I didn't know we were not doing rosé.
I only drink
got your
40% wine.
You got my back.
Who drinks Riesling?
Yeah.
Riesling. I do.
He loves a dessert wine. He loves a dessert
Loves
wine.
a good
There's something wrong with that.
Loves it.
It's got to have a rose petal or something.
very
inside
science-
for him.
something, yeah,
You won't
Not
look
that
at
there's
it.
anything wrong with that.
No, absolutely not.
you.
Absolutely not. Well, welcome to the last backstage, of course. Over the next few days, we're going to be here in Madrid. We have this weekend is going to be our Blast Pro Series Madrid. All the teams are here. You'll see them at the course of the day coming here, talking to myself and Frankie. Yeah, I mean, guys, this is our third Blast Pro Series of 2019. It was only, Miami was only a few weeks ago now, really. And here we are in Madrid. In terms of the season so far, have you been surprised about the winners? So we had Astralis win the first one in Sao Paulo.
That was a
FaZe
shocker.
Clan, yeah.
I could not believe Astralis won that.
You couldn't believe.
That was amazing.
Yeah, amazing. They win nothing these days.
What a run.
What a run. Yeah, what a run. The
MIBR.
underdogs. Yeah. And then FaZe Clan won in Miami, which was, I think, a bit of a shock to a lot of people. Perhaps Astralis getting knocked out earlier.
That was a shock to FaZe themselves.
Yeah.
Probably.
Wow. And
Yes.
Nico gave that interview afterwards where he's like, I don't know how we won that event.
We were out with Olaf Meister that last night, and he was saying they were talking about the day of the stadium day.
Yeah.
They were talking about how they had extra time at the end of the event to go explore stuff. They didn't expect to even get to the finals before the day started.
I tell you what, I think it was Rain who in that final. I think I went 21-0, 20-0, which was unreal. Nico as well. He's different class.
That was insane for me.
Yeah.
He's kind
That
of
was another level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it not like the only time ever in the grand final someone is 20-0-0?
Yeah.
Like I've never seen that before.
No, you were spitting feathers. You could not believe
I
it was happening.
going crazy. I was really going.
You're wild, like a wild
I was hoping
animal.
the game would end 16-2 and he would finish like 28-1 or something like that.
He had too much rosé before that segment.
That's right.
Who knows? Who
It's
knows?
the sugar.
Yeah.
It's the sugar.
Yeah, the Riesling had been wiped out of the hotel. You had it all.
I mean,
you and your rose petals. I mean, with regards to to this year so far, I mean, the teams that we have here as well. Who do you think's on top right now in terms of players? Who have you been kind of really surprised? People that are actually going to be competing this weekend in our teams. Anyone kind of stand out for you guys who's been absolutely essential to the CS scene this year in terms of the best place?
Who's going to say Simple? Who wants to take Simple?
You can have it.
You can have Simple. Okay.
Obviously looks very dangerous as always. He was really good in Shanghai. I would expect him to be as good here too.
Yep.
Electronic is actually fine as well. And Edward, I think Edward is actually coming back to a good level from where he was from, I don't know, a few months ago. Now he's actually fragging.
Yeah, he only had one way to go, though. You could only go up.
Yeah, but he did so. He could have stayed there, with Zeus, and he actually left him behind and played. So I would say Na'Vi look quite, threatening this event.
Yeah, they do. We've got obviously two local teams as well going to be competing, Movistar and Giants as well. Do we know much about these teams? Lorna, I know you've been doing a bit of research on these guys.
The expert.
The expert? Yeah, tell us everything. What do we know?
Mixwell.
Fox is 32.
Okay.
Which is pretty amazing.
Cool.
He's holding it down for all of us old folk.
I'm excited.
Moses?
I'm excited to have him back because I want to see Thorin's going to be tweeting about it again. Surely,
He loves to tweet.
Fox.
Loves to tweet.
Used to be a thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah. He's played at 5 majors.
Wow.
It is
He's
wild.
got the experience.
And when he was on SK and he subbed in, I think it was at E-League 2017.
It was at
They actually did
Atlanta.
really
Atlanta,
well. It was
yeah.
Atlanta.
Right? Yeah.
They did really well.
Yeah.
Like he was he just showed up. He's like on short notice. It was like right after Phelps left abruptly.
Yep.
Came through, played really well. So they've got like some international stars. They've got Fox on Giants, and then they have.
Hello.
Here she is. Talking about
there it is,
celebrities.
Potter. There it is.
Let's
Talk
go.
about big hitters.
Hello.
Potter,
Welcome,
how you doing, Christine?
And
Welcome.
and of course they have Mixwell.
Yeah.
Continue.
We're learning all about the local teams. Movistar are, I think, a Madrid-based team, right? And Giants are Portuguese. Is that
Yeah,
right?
they're
they're
all
Portuguese.
Portuguese lineup. Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, they're playing a qualifying round, I think, on Friday prior
Tomorrow.
to the actual prior to the actual finals. I mean, who do you think's going to take this and actually be competing this weekend in our finals?
Yeah, there's an Orange Liga Super League. Sorry, I'm saying that wrong, but there's like a league with just the Iberian teams, and Giants are like the champions of that league. But in terms of like map pool and other results and overall level, Movistars are like way and above anybody in either Portugal or Spain. So they should be the ones to take it. I think it's funny because the only map that Movistars don't play is Dust 2. Every other map they play, and that's Giants' best map by far, and one of the only
Really?
maps that they do play. So it's an easy permaban. It's gonna be a tough series.
Yeah, I think so too. Looking forward to see. Yeah.
You can.
So every time we do straight in there.
Asking the real
Did you have
question.
breakfast this morning?
This is my breakfast.
That's your
actually.
breakfast.
Yeah,
that
this is my
weird.
breakfast.
I don't even know what it is. Is it like a kind of a pastry-ish
It's
kind
a
of
pastry,
like a biscuit?
Yeah. I think
See, in the US, biscuits to you guys are very different to biscuits for us guys in the UK.
Yeah.
Biscuits for you go with like you have chicken and biscuits,
they're
right? That's the
for
thing.
fun.
Yeah.
like biscuits and gravy.
That's-
What was that?
They have chicken and biscuits.
Yeah, those are like buttermilk biscuits.
Yeah.
Okay.
You get from like
Not really like
Buttermilk
cookie
biscuits,
biscuits.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah.
like a scone. For us, it's like a. Do you know what a
Scone?
scone? Yeah, scone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scone.
Whereas scone. See, I say
Scone.
scone. Apparently, the Queen says scone.
Scones?
I would say scone sounds more posh to me.
She doesn't have
Well,
time to waste.
No,
you know?
it's gone.
Get right there.
It's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, biscuits. I would say they're kind of more a sweeter snack. You dip in like a cup of tea or something.
Uh-huh.
You
Boring,
need
let's move on.
you need to have a good biscuits and gravy from the south.
Okay.
Yeah, for
okay.
real.
Biscuits and gravy. That sounds.
Chicken and waffles, biscuits,
Horrible.
gravy.
Chicken
So
and
confused.
waffle is a bit
Okay,
overrated.
yeah.
There's little
It is, honestly. It's really hard to find
Yeah.
chicken and waffles.
amazing, yeah.
Chicken isn't like
It's good.
dried if the waffle isn't too dry. Have you ever had chicken and waffles?
No. That's weird.
Maple
What chicken?
syrup, chicken, waffles.
It's not.
That sounds like a
it's-
mental
it's
thing to
not,
eat.
It's not great.
Okay.
It's a unique kind of person who enjoys chicken
Okay.
and waffle.
Let us know in the chat if you've had chicken and waffles.
Again, it's a southern thing, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
They're
think.
weird down there.
What are Spanish delicacies we've got to try while we're here? What they,
we had the roast suckling pig last night. There's a name for it that I don't remember.
Did it come out
That's-
as a?
No, we
full-on-
had them
No.
carve it up, but you can have them bring it out as like a pig spread,
I really wanted it.
The pig
to
is
be
spread.
the-
like flayed.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know how to explain it. Listen,
there's a few
we're
things
gonna
that are
start
great.
getting into graphic
Yeah.
things that most vegetarians would appreciate.
Yeah. Oh man.
You're
So-
on a vegan
Oh yeah,
diet.
I'm
you're
on a
really
vegan-
vegan,
dude,
so
I'm
you don't
really
get to have
vegan, yeah.
anything.
Yeah. Everyone's into
The
vegan. Yeah.
ham here is
You're
phenomenal.
vegan, Adam.
I literally 10 days ago I went vegan.
Wow.
Yeah, just trying it out, giving it a go.
Okay.
Yeah,
How's
yeah.
it going?
That's
Are
a
you
normal
saying-
thing.
Yeah. It's just
That is
do you
pretty
know what? Do you know
standard.
what? It's. I think for me, for me, it was a purely a dietary thing to see if I could change things up and just see if it makes a difference. I'm checking every single pack of everything that I'm eating right now. I was at the breakfast this morning, looking at like every donut and pastry, thinking, "Is that edible?" I don't. I have no idea. But it's really hard, kind of, when you see what
I don't
food
think
spread out.
bread comes from animals. I think you should be fine there.
No, but there's milk.
There's
There's milk.
There
Yeah.
could be milk.
Yeah, you
right?
can find some
Oh, so you're
really
going
good.
like full vegan, like
Dude,
you're,
I went
like
from,
you're
I
going
went from
crazy
carnivore, I went from T-Rex to.
Stuff. Okay.
Did you say Diplodocus or Diplodocus?
I've never
Dinosaur-wise?
said that word in my life.
Excuse me.
You've never said that.
We never said
Come
that
on, man. You've all seen
What the
Jurassic Park. You know that. You know what I'm talking about, right? The Vegisaur.
Yeah.
Oh, the
Where have you been
Diplodocus.
for the last 20 years?
Yeah, but there's a lot of those.
Yeah, there are a lot of those. With the long neck,
Triceratops,
the
I
big
say.
one.
Oh, Stegosaurus.
Bronchosaurus?
No.
What?
No,
No,
are
but
you
that's
talking about the one with the
Diplodocus.
long?
That is
You're
Diplodocus.
dinosaurs, guys.
Yeah,
Come on.
Stegosaurus is
the
the
right
one
one?
with the long neck.
No, Stegosaurus
No,
got the weird.
Stegosaurus.
No, it's
Whatever,
like a
guys.
bronchosaurus.
All right?
It's like
What
a
are you guys,
bronchosaurus.
cops? Come
It's like a
on.
bronchiosaurus.
Bunch of narcs over here.
That sounds good.
Yeah,
that sounds
that's
right.
that's
yeah.
the one with the long
Yes.
neck. He eats the top of the tree.
Wait, which one
I'm
is
on
it?
Nifty's side.
That is
Bronchosaurus?
Yeah, that's a veggie
Bronchosaurus.
dinosaur.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
oh, the Stegosaurus is like got the
It's got the plates.
protractors.
Yeah, it's got the plates, mate. And they got the Triceratops with the horns. Never mind.
What a
CS.
wild conversation this was.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, vegan's going okay. I don't know if you guys have tried it. I wouldn't recommend it necessarily because you do have to substitute a lot of stuff.
I will
so
say almond milk is highly underrated.
I love
I enjoy a good
Cashew
almond milk.
milk
Yeah.
or
you said
Oat milk.
Oat milk.
coconut.
and almond milk.
Almond
Dude,
milk,
You
there it is.
combine the two.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous. It is amazing.
Have you tried oat milk? Actually?
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Really good. Yeah, yeah, it's good times. Really
I've
good.
like fully replaced regular whole milk with almond milk in my cereal and everything.
Yeah,
Big difference, man.
cashew milk and oatmeal. That's
Cut
where
out
it's at,
the
guys.
dairy, I think, is the biggest factor. If you cut out dairy, that should make a big difference. The meat thing, I don't know so much, but you know. There we go. So yes, so do you know one thing that's been happening? We talked about
I
something.
had more, but
So close.
how much longer can we go on?
I don't know. I have no idea. We've actually had the pick and bans the last. We obviously want to talk about the pick and bans the teams have gone through. We've got some graphics up on the screen. We've got on the spreadsheet here as well with what teams have picked and banned certain maps. Of course, Movistar and Giants. We don't know just yet what those pick and bans are going to be because we don't know who that sixth team is going into our series this weekend. So those haven't been done yet, but the other teams have. The first one to talk about is ENCE and Na'Vi. It'll pop on the screen very shortly, and we'll have a chance to see what their pick and bans
A
are.
nice grudge match.
That's pretty.
Nice
That's hot.
semi-final, maybe.
That's a hot match.
Well, ENCE back in Sao Paulo did ridiculously well. I think it was 1 point in it between them and Team Liquid going into the final.
It was literally that game came down to the last round, I think.
Yeah.
And then it was
Second to last round, maybe.
Difference. It's
Yeah.
round difference.
Yeah, it
that
was
they
round
go
difference
through.
between them. Yeah, it was close.
They're an exciting
Dust
team.
2 ban.
Here we go. This is it. This is it. So,
Wait a second, that's a lot of bans.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah. So the way it has worked here is that Mirage
Yeah, 6
has
of them,
been.
to be exact.
What we're going to see. So for you guys at home, what you're going to see on the screen here is the map's always going to be in the same order, but the one that they've chosen is going to be highlighted. Okay. So we find out that ENCE versus Na'Vi. Mirage is their map. Who has the advantage here, guys? Who do you think?
I thought we'd
think
see Inferno or Dust 2, but
Well, I think Navi's going to have the advantage. But
Yeah,
I
me
mean,
too.
this is the map that at the major went like way down to the wall. Did it go into overtime? I can't remember if that went into overtime. But that was the one where the simple almost had the graffiti moment.
Oh,
Like, this map was incredible.
Yeah, the clap-
yes, that was probably the best map of the whole major.
Yeah, it probably
Yeah.
That was a fire. Yeah, it was a good
Yeah.
map.
I mean, every map is a playground for Simple, but I think Mirage, like especially, like very reminiscent of like B-site Simple. You know what I mean? Like empty
Yeah,
pillar, like
yeah.
getting one of the windows moving, getting.
Well,
back.
it's
He's
because-
actually amazing.
it's
Yeah,
'cause
he's
he has
actually
to-
amazing on B-side. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. When you
Yeah,
watch
he
the
burns
demos.
a lot of calories on this map because he's got to just run back and forth because they have Zeus in that B bomb site.
Can I use that for casting?
Listen, he
I
ain't
like
gonna hold on to
that.
that bomb site for long.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Zipple's
Only
running
that.
back and forth all day.
Yeah.
All day.
Burning
Well,
calories.
To give you some idea of who banned what, we had Na'Vi ban Train to kick things off. We then had ENCE ban Dust 2 and Inferno, followed by a Nuke and Vertigo ban from Na'Vi, and then a final ban of Overpass from ENCE. So
They have a lot
any
of maps
surprises?
in common, so
Yeah.
that I thought maybe there would be Dust 2 or Inferno played in the series. I'm surprised it was banned first. If that's
Yeah.
So ENCE chose Mirage, right?
So yeah, they had
they
choice
could have chosen
Overpass,
Overpass, yeah.
and Mirage. At the end, they chose Mirage. Yeah.
I think Mirage is just a better
Probably a
map
good
for ENCE
idea.
than Overpass
Yeah.
is. And Mirage, like both expert map for both teams.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Na'Vi and ENCE. But of course, if you ENCE, you don't want to go to Overpass. I think it's too tactical map, simple as too much possibility to pick you up here and there. So
Yeah.
Mirage makes sense, and it puts up for a great show.
Yeah.
Both teams are really good on it.
Both teams playing very well this year as well. Who do you think's going to take that? Who do you think's going to take Mirage?
Navi.
Na'Vi.
Yeah, I gotta go with Na'Vi.
yeah,
Na'Vi.
me too.
I know. I think ENCE has a good chance, but I think Navi's just playing too well at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as close as that past matchup was.
Because we had off the back of Shanghai, obviously they came into Blast Miami, and I think they surprised a lot of people not doing as well as I think everyone thought they were going to do.
Long
in that.
travel.
Long travel.
Long travel.
And
That makes a
also,
big di-
they haven't played in about a month or so, right? Since
Yeah.
the last Miami, they haven't
They've taken some time
attended
out.
any events or anything. I would.
Yeah.
I think outside of like a Pro League week.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't done any like major events.
Okay, interesting. So we're thinking Na'Vi across the board here could be
Yeah.
the first.
I'm still gonna side with ENCE.
Okay.
Yeah, I
There
would,
he
I would
is.
too.
I think
I just think, I think that just the
Right.
format of Blast in general can be very punitive with Navi's problem, or I would say ability to just miss a day of Counter-Strike.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
in every other tournament, they just play bad the first day, and we know, they're going to show up tomorrow, probably make it to the quarterfinal, semifinal.
Yeah.
Here, because of the format and the fact that you can't just miss a day, I would probably say Navi's in danger in that kind of tournament. But I agree with most. They've been playing really well. I would still say ENCE, just because of the revenge for Shanghai.
Okay. The other map played round one that's confirmed right now is Astralis versus NIP.
I wanted to make fun of you. I didn't.
Just to go for it. I can take it.
He likes his romantic storyline. He sits there with his rosé in the bathtub.
Yeah,
He's like,
I bet he was.
underdog story.
Just watching replays.
actually, when he's telling a story, that's exactly
Nice
how I
glass of
picture it.
rosé.
Exactly.
That is maniac through
in
and
the
through.
bathtub. He's
Yeah.
wearing
It's very
bathing suit,
like
though. He's wearing a
elegant.
bathing
It's
suit.
very elegant and well
That's his
articulated.
one
but-
rider every me a bed. Give me a bathtub. Forget the shower.
I need a bottle of
Nice.
rosé and ice in my room every
Yeah.
night when I get back.
Cuts to a commercial. And
My
he's-
conditions,
his
right?
leg-
You know? My conditions.
Those are my
Some
conditions.
people can demand these things.
I want a bathtub. That's how it is.
Wait, can I take over for a second and just see? Has anyone picked Vertigo? Can we just get that out of the way? Is there Vertigo picked anywhere?
Why don't we
in
wait?
this-
As from
We
what I
get to
can
be
tell-
I just
kind
want to
of
know. I don't
surprised.
want to
It'll be
wait.
more
I don't. I'm
exciting.
not patient. I want to know right now.
Not one team has picked
right,
Vertigo.
well,
no,
all right,
Vertigo is
That's
not.
disappointing.
Next up is Astralis versus Nip, and they're playing on Dust 2. That's the map that's been chosen.
I'm most excited about this match, actually.
That's gonna
You
be
are?
beautiful.
Yeah, because NIP Dust 2 Sydney, it was so they were
Yeah.
so close. They
With
almost won. Yeah, versus Fnatic. It went into like 2 OTs.
Yeah.
It was.
That
It was
was
like,
the one
wasn't like
with the
100 games
highlights.
played or something crazy.
There was like 30
Yeah.
highlights.
Yeah, yeah. It
That-
was.
I mean, between
incredible.
Overpass and Dust 2 was ridiculous.
Yeah.
That Dust 2 one is some of the craziest rounds I've seen in Counter-Strike in a long time.
That was like one of the only matches where every single player in the server had a highlight round, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Insane.
Jason
Amazing.
came to me yesterday. Was like, "Did you see that round? Did you see that round from Tina?
did.
Just look at this. Look what he's doing."
I watched. I
Whoa.
tweeted
And you were like, Jason, I'm in the bath.
I've noticed it's like a trend with NIP and Fnatic. They both put on fantastic games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Their series are
Swedish
always
matchup
good.
is always
Yeah.
fun to watch.
Yeah.
But also, if it's just NIP versus X or Fnatic versus X as well, it seems like they just are really good at putting on great series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
And-
being said,
NIP.
Astralis is going to bang him out.
Yeah.
On
Well,
this-
Yeah.
give me some context here.
I'm just
we
going
had-
to win
Astralis
everyone's
chose Dust 2,
Nip,
right?
Yeah, so
Thanks a lot.
basically,
Yeah,
Nip,
you're welcome.
Kill the Manders.
Nip had they banned Infinity to kick things off. Astralis then banned Train and Mirage. Nuke and Vertigo banned by Nip, and then there was Overpass with Dust 2, and Astralis went with Dust 2. So
Yeah.
who do you think's going to take that one, guys? Who's your money on? Is it Astralis all the way?
Astralis.
Astralis for sure.
Yeah.
Astralis as
Yeah.
well.
They're pretty good.
Hands down.
Yeah, they've
I
good.
could see it being like a 16-13 though.
Really?
A close
Yeah,
one.
think
I
so.
could see it being a 16-5.
Okay.
I don't think NIP gets double digits.
Astralis
think
is
so.
doing that thing again where they're choosing the same map over and over. Dust 2.
Oh yeah. Well, they're
Yeah.
probably getting shoehorned into it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other people's bands.
This is
Yeah.
because of this best
Well-
of one. When you have to choose between Overpass and Dust 2, these are arguably the two weakest Astralis maps that
Yeah.
they play.
Yeah.
But still, like crazy good results on that.
Let's move on to the second round. Obviously, we have 2 rounds on a Friday, and the rest of the rounds happen on the Saturday. The second round that's going to be played out tomorrow are Friday. Kicking things off is Ents versus Nip here, and Nuke is the chosen
Nice.
map. here.
Nice.
This is Ents versus Nip.
Ents
Yes.
versus Nip. Yeah.
That's gonna be sick.
Where do you think who's got the advantage going into this?
They're just both really good at nuke.
Yeah.
And Ence's nuke is getting really good. So I think recently they've had like mixed results, but I think the match should be amazing because they both love the map. So.
Yeah. I mean, Ents have got Na'Vi and Nip on the first day. It's quite a big first 2 games. I mean, how important is it going into the Saturday with some good results behind you, winding your sails?
You can see like day 1 can just ruin day 2 if you don't do well.
Yeah, if you don't win a single game on day 1, you just go into the second day all deflated, and you're like, well, we don't have a chance.
You actually count on other people to
I mean,
lose.
it's
Yeah.
exactly what
That's never-
happened in Miami. We had FaZe Clan, who I think
Except it was
drew
the
one
opposite,
game
yeah.
and lost on the first day.
Yeah.
Second day, just totally smashed it,
Yeah.
and they did great. So who knows what could happen?
Which is uncommon, yeah.
Yeah, it is, yeah. But where does the land lie with Ents and Nip? Who do you think's going to take this one all the way?
I'm gonna give it to Ents.
Yeah.
I think their
I'll go
nuke
Ents
has looked
as well.
amazing. I think their nuke. There's one of the only teams I'd be like. There was a point where I'd say they should play Astralis on nuke to try to take them down, to try to like kill their nuke record. Not to say they would win, but that they were one of the only teams that'd be close.
Yeah.
If it's either Nuke or Inferno, might as well try
Yeah,
your luck
not
on Nuke if you're
Inferno,
Ents.
Listen, I'm not fucking with Astralis on Nuke.
Yeah, okay, we know. Okay, all right. I think Ents is a good team. Ents is a
what's
good team
wrong
on
with
Nuke in 2019.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with
And
each
I
and
think
every
it was
one of
Just
you?
Jason just swearing on front.
He doesn't care. He
It's
doesn't
one of
care
the.
anymore.
It's we're supposed to. It's are we supposed to? I don't know.
Oh, he said we're supposed to.
Internet. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
There's supposed to be a little bit more personality, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I swear a lot.
Yes, fine. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a character.
It's great.
It's good. It's character. Also, as well, I should say as well, do let us know any questions or any kind of theories that you have about which team's going to take which map. Do let us know on the hashtag Blast Backstage. Get that into us as well. I want to hear your questions.
I'm taking NIP in this one. Everyone else has got Ents.
Oh wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with NIP too.
Hell yeah, girl.
Yes. NIP's nuke is insane.
You
Jason?
you couldn't say
Jason?
that in the UK. Hell yeah, girl. It sounds weird.
That
It sounds
doesn't
very-
work.
sounds like
Actually,
creepy.
I want to erase that
I
from my
thought it
memory.
felt my side thing.
Just rewind it.
Yeah,
just erase
seriously.
it. Just erase it. The other confirmed round that we have, round 2, sorry, the other confirmed head-to-head is Na'Vi.
Slow down.
I'm still thrown by the whole bathtub image of Maynard there. Na'Vi versus Cloud9, and the map they're playing on is Mirage. So what are we thinking? I mean, this is obviously Cloud9. Their first match is going to be against the kind of the qualifier tomorrow.
Yeah.
They're coming into their first map against Na'Vi in this round 2. Na'Vi. We said they're very strong. How are Cloud9 looking going into this?
That's going to be ugly for
It's gonna be a
Cloud9.
short game, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a short one.
We're looking at the short game, probably 17 to 18 rounds. Probably
Yep.
Na'Vi winning 16.
Wow.
16-2.
Wow.
No, honestly,
Yeah.
I like how we went in
It's gonna be
total
Na'Vi.
there.
What is the reason right now that
Always.
Cloud9 are not performing at the same kind of level?
They
as
have a new
others?
roster at every blast.
This is true.
You're not wrong.
They had the
You're
coach
actually
last
not
year
wrong.
playing. Yeah, they had the coach playing last
Sometimes
year. They,
Blast
you know,
is the only tournament they play with their new roster.
yeah.
What if we were all missing that Cloud9 is trying to build the next CSGO, which is rotating rosters, and they're doing it, and we don't even realizing they're trying to rotate lineups all the time.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not exactly what you'd say working.
No, it's not working, but maybe it's the first
know.
step in a series of experiments.
This experiment
They're
is
gonna end up with a 10-man
kibosh
roster?
immediately.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They should have never cut Flare in.
Yeah.
It was all downhill from there.
But do you think fans as well of Cloud9, is this a frustrating time for them as well because they can't have a team that they go into every single series with? It's always changing all the time.
It's been a frustrating year. Like they haven't
Yeah.
had an actual roster since
Ever
like,
since Stewie, he's just been laid in ruin. They've just been scrambling to find a replacement for him,
suppose-
and it's never worked.
I suppose in terms of performance it is, but they still get to go to every single event, so
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
it's not a
Yeah.
frustration there.
But is it hard for
For
them
other
as players? It must be very hard as well. Like coming into these different, these different series and losing regularly,
Yeah.
and getting outplayed as well. That must be very hard to take.
But it's weird because they've even with all these roster changes for whatever reason they've been able to have some pretty competitive matches with some of the best teams, which is kind of crazy to think about. With how many
They
changes
have
they've had.
done well at Blasts. Even the last Blast, they lost like I don't know, 4 matches or something like that. They still had really close losses. They looked pretty good. It was just they look good for a new team. Like you got to have measured expectations to them. And I guess technically the only thing different now is that they just brought Valence back for Rambo. So they still have Vice. They still have that roster.
Another roster change, yeah.
Yeah, so it's just another
Yeah,
roster change.
that's actually
In some
curious.
sense, yeah.
That's a curious one.
Just have a change, isn't it? They
Yeah.
love a change. They love a change.
Rambo was in and out pretty quick, wasn't he?
Yeah, I wish we had some more insight into that.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah.
always just looking stoic behind the team. He's got really good posture.
Yeah, from what I've
Just sits
heard,
there and he's got really good posture.
Yeah, phenomenal
He looks
bone
like he's on top of
structure.
things. I have no idea.
Those cheekbones, man.
Those cheekbones.
Yeah.
Let's
Cut
move.
butter with
Let's
those.
move on
Jolt.
to our main showdown on the Saturday, round 3, kicking things off. We've got Astralis Na'Vi in our first matchup on round 3. This is going to be interesting. We've had we said a lot about Na'Vi and how they're performing really well, but Astralis as well didn't have a great Miami and Blast whatsoever. But it's Astralis.
just like Maniac said about the format being punitive to people. Like talked to Glaive after Miami, and he's like, "Yeah, you just played bad for one day, and it just rolled on." They had two losses that were less than double digits, one versus FaZe and then another team, and that was the only time we've seen that in like months.
Yeah.
Well, MIBR just cleaned the
Oh
clock,
yeah,
didn't they?
yeah.
It was like
FaZe-
16-4 or something.
64, and then FaZe
16-2, yeah.
16-2.
which they needed after the car
nice
crash in Sao
18-round
Paulo.
game, right?
I wasn't at mine. I remember seeing that result, and I was like, "What is happening in Florida right now?"
It was wild. Like,
Only in Florida could something that crazy happen.
because in Brazil it was such a
Florida man strikes again.
in Brazil we were so the crowd obviously was so behind MIBR and they just did not win anything. It was a really hard time because you right there?
No.
Yep. Just make sure. But yeah, it's. I think the
she went from "Can we
the-
eat these?" to "Can I have this
Yeah,
entire?"
What
What
are those things there?
I think it's popcorn covered in chocolate.
What?
I've never
turn that
seen
down.
popcorn
Never seen
covered in
that.
Christ
chocolate.
almighty,
It's
that
really
sounds
good.
fantastic.
Probably sounds
let me
great
try
on
one
mic.
of those.
Yeah.
It's like
How do you
mukbang.
call that? How would you call that? I would translate
we-
to a
we-
bird's
mukbang,
nest.
See, we have
A
we have-
cookie.
mukbang.
We would
Cookie?
call this a cookie.
This is a bird's nest for me. A
Oh.
neat muzzle. A bird's
See,
nest.
these things here, we have something in England called jammy dodgers. Have you heard of those? Jammy dodgers?
No,
Jammy
that's,
It's the same kind of
sounds
premise.
sketchy, though.
It's not.
Sometimes
It's not.
I wonder if they're just making fun of us by making words up.
Yeah.
They talk about
I just spent a week in
I think that's
Australia.
not
I'm
a
pretty
thing.
sure they do that.
Yeah.
Dude, you're the ones that have taken the language to a whole nother place.
Yeah, we've elevated
Hell
it.
yeah, girl. And we would never say that. It was not really a thing that we...
We don't say that either. Only Jason. We don't say that either. Yeah.
Hell yeah, girl. Love it.
Don't be jealous.
I just couldn't get away with it. I couldn't get away with it. You can, though. Sounds great. Sounds good.
Yeah, it feels like I'm getting away with it.
No one's noticed.
No one said a word about it.
It was a home run. Yeah.
Let's look at, Astralis Na'Vi, where, who's going to take that one? Do you think Astralis will,
So what's
hands
the
down?
map? Oh, the map is
That's
new.
two.
That's
D2,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
what are you talking
this,
about? Oh,
the
Dust
next
2.
one. This is Cloud9 versus Ents, actually. Cloud9 versus Ents. Nuke has been chosen in that
Ents.
match.
And so
We think Ents through and through.
Yeah.
I think Cloud9 is going to get Well, actually, I guess they're going to get one win over like the movie star Giants, I would imagine.
Yeah, they're starting off hot.
Do you
But
really?
I mean, that's a little weird because I don't know anything about those teams, so it's like I can't predict them to win. Because
Yeah.
Mixwell.
yeah, I know
Mixwell,
Mixwell.
Fox.
Here's the
Mixwell.
thing. That team,
Four majors.
movie star better qualify because Mixwell was actually a guy sitting on like tier 1 teams. He was in the
Yeah.
States. You know, he was on all these rosters. He was sought after for a long time, and he declines everything to go be at home, which is fine, which is admirable. But like, if you're going to make that project, you know, if you're going to
Yeah.
come back and try and elevate your local scene, you better be able to qualify against your other local opponents.
Yeah.
right?
Did he decline
and
like
like
NA offers?
and like
what,
Lowell.
what did he decline? Maybe you know, Steph. I don't.
He must have
I wanna
gotten
know.
offers.
Yeah.
But I mean,
man.
he was
literally
yeah,
won
yeah.
E-League.
Yeah.
And he
That
was
was
sitting
big.
in Optic, right? And he's like, he
Yeah.
was the only one on that roster for a while, and he probably could have just been built around. Like, he was good enough to where that organization would have been
100%.
like,
Did he
stay
try out
here.
for G2 as well?
There's so many
Yeah,
players
he
in
did
North
for them,
America.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
so
He
many
stood in
players
for
in North
North
America
and
that said he
G2.
was like their
North
favorite
and
teammate of all
G2.
time.
North
Yeah,
as well. You did
North,
one
and
event
he
with
won
them.
DreamHack.
Okay.
I thought
He
it was gonna be
actually-
heavier.
He actually won DreamHack Marseille with
God,
North.
Anders
With North,
sucks.
okay.
Yeah, as a
Okay.
ringer, and then actually as a ringer for
We're getting
G2, they
attacked.
performed really
Everyone
well.
throws soccer
He
balls.
was.
Oh my god.
Focus. Actually, that's
Go on.
it.
Are we playing
Christine.
football right now?
That's
Is it what's happening?
Yeah. Thank you. Football.
No,
Not
this is
soccer.
Give me the rocks.
No, no. Okay.
Soccer.
Thank you.
We're all,
Can we
we're
just
all,
sell that?
we're all
Bloody
going,
words you've ruined.
I think American football is better than European
ready to.
soccer.
You think American football is better than European soccer? So many people would want to kill you.
Can we keep this conversation civil, please?
on the
I'm gonna go.
on the internet. Yeah, I think you're right. I think with thank you with the likes of
Chill.
Navi,
You're all
Astralis,
chill.
you know, another big matchup as you said. In you know with only one round, anything's possible.
We're back to Navi Astralis right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking at.
No,
Cloud9
but the
as
thing
well.
is, just because it's Dust 2 and because of Navi's form and Astralis showing some weaknesses in Miami, I guess it's now or never for Navi to beat them.
Yeah.
Dust 2, I think, is the best possible scenario, best environment
Yeah.
to do so.
I don't know, Strauss
Uh,
is pretty damn good on
Yeah,
Dust.
Astralis
Yeah.
play
But
good
still-
Counter-Strike in general, right? Are they a good team? I don't know. They're pretty good onto it, but still.
Get this man some more rosé.
I'm just listening to everyone's trying to hop off this Astralis bandwagon.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not saying Astralis is weak or
Let-
anything, but
No,
Let-
it's
let me-
it
Dust
is.
2
It's
is
a
a
good
good
matchup
environment
on
to do so.
Yeah, Dust 2.
Let me ask before we move on to round 4. Quickly about Movie Star Riders or Giants. How much of obviously you mentioned about how these big teams are competing in Blast Pro Madrid, for teams like that who are like local teams and competing at this level with these teams, is it? I mean, is there an element of wanting to prove themselves on the big stage, or is there a lot of like is there somewhat kind of a lot of apprehension about playing against teams of that caliber? How do they go into it?
Like for movie stars?
Yeah, or
like
Giants,
it-
yeah.
okay,
Giants, yeah.
so these teams would be nothing if not for like Fox and Mixwell, pretty much. Like Lowell was on movie stars, but he left maybe out of frustration because they weren't winning anything.
Yeah, you joined
But,
Hellraisers, right?
You know,
Yep.
yeah, they joined
Yeah.
Hellra-
Yeah.
yeah,
Hellraisers.
and so you could see they maybe want to move into more international teams.
Mhm.
I feel like Mixwell's case is special because he was an Optic. He was stuck in a team house like all alone in the forest for like 6 months.
In the
I don't
forest.
think they had Uber
Listen,
Eats.
what?
People brought
It was
him food
pretty
once
far
in a
in the
while.
forest.
He wrote a twit longer about this. You can go read it.
I've
It's
been-
so depressing and
I've
scary.
been to that
and
house.
he was
It's-
talking
it wasn't
about
that
he was alone. He was isolated. He had a hockey rink by
What is-
himself. There was nothing he could do.
Yeah, he
It
was
sounds
in
like the Blair Witch Project.
he was in a mansion.
It was a nice house though.
He
It
was in a
nice house.
mansion that had a pool in the entryway. You walk in
Yeah.
the door, and then
But
there's
no-
a giant pool with a wet bar.
Sucks to be him.
You gotta clean
Yeah.
it yourself.
Oh, good lord.
He's got to pour the
What is
chlorine
it?
every night just for himself.
Listen, imagine the parties you could have thrown in that thing. It's just-
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think they had Uber. Maybe Amazon Prime. I don't think they had
it was
that.
in like a Chicago suburb. You're acting like he's out in like
Yeah.
boonies. Like,
Yeah,
Man, did you read the twit longer? That was
yeah,
sad.
but that was
He's
like
like,
30
well,
years ago.
well,
I remember.
So
that.
anyways,
but
he
it's-
moves to Spain. He's happier now, and
Yeah.
I think that's why he's been on the team for so long, almost a year, maybe over a year now.
Just content.
Just content, probably just happy to be playing with
Yeah.
the team. And I think that the Ensign experiment has given teams like this more hope that if you stay together, you have one guy who's got like a lot of success, then everyone will come with it.
Yeah. Okay.
And on top of that, I think for teams like that, Blast right now, this is the perfect scenario. So you have nothing to lose.
Mhm.
Every match you win is going to be incredible. The pressure is completely on your opponent. It's best of one.
Mhm.
You get to remove like 3 maps you don't feel comfortable on. You should land up on a middle ground or maybe a good map of yours.
Mhm.
And any round you win is a surprise. So I've been there. I've been the challenger trying to win. It's very comfortable. And when you're on the other side, it's really, really not nice. It's
Yeah.
not nice to play these games where every round you lose, you're like, come on.
Yeah,
That should be 16-3. Like,
Yeah,
let's go.
absolutely.
And the pressure builds up as it goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, experience is going to come. But I would still say this is a perfect place to be as a
good
player.
environment, yeah.
You're going to have a good weekend.
Yeah.
I think that's for sure.
I'm looking forward to seeing it in
Serious
action.
game for Cloud9.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. First
Yeah.
game. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah,
that's going to be a hard one.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. Good to watch, though. Good for us. Good for us.
It's almost. It's
let's go
almost
into
like
round 4. There's 2
setting
more
them up
rounds
for
to
that
go.
repeat.
This is the latter end of the series. We've got, first up, Astralis Ents on Dust 2. Surprised this map has come up, or is this kind of typical of these 2 teams?
Not surprised. I would say it's like one of 2 or 3 maps that would definitely come up. So
yeah,
good map for both teams. Jason, will Astralis win?
Astralis is a good team.
Astralis is going to win. What do you want from me? I'm just letting whoever wants to pick against can speak up. Go for it.
Yeah.
Put your money where your mouth is, underdog lovers.
Yeah. Do you think? I mean, as you said, Astralis, they can turn it up anytime they want to.
I mean, it will be interesting to see with Astralis since they have been declining some events and not traveling as much. It will be interesting to see what form they come into here, right?
Right.
So that's just kind of going to be like the one thing that I'm looking forward to seeing is, are they still going to be on point? Are they still going to be dominant? You know?
I mean, they did capitulate quite badly in Miami.
Yeah.
Did.
Everyone's allowed to have
bad day.
an off event.
Well, they haven't had an off event in so long.
Yeah.
I think, they're gonna come out swinging for sure. Because
I hope so.
they're gonna be like, what happened in Miami?
But I
boys?"
wonder if it was a symptom of them just not just getting too comfortable, or what. I think it was just a bad day, but
I think it was just part of.
IBR.
I think it was just part of being human. Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean,
What is that?
they've done an incredible job. They've done an incredible job at not being complacent. And they've always been on top of their game and always making the right decisions and always being like proactive towards the next step. So I think it was just a factor of just like it was a bad day, and as the games went on for Astralis that day, you could see those almost like old habits, those human factors coming into play, like when they were dying, even when they were in a tied scoreline, like they were just like flinging their heads back,
Right,
and you could see in their body language and things like that. And I think that's what that was for them. So.
my favorite part is when Magisk, whether they win or lose a round, he still turns red. And then he goes, like he has the same exact war face. He's always fired up. Win or lose.
Yeah, win or
Great.
lose. Other map that's been confirmed: Cloud9 versus Nip on Nuke. Nip all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, what about the Cloud9? The Cloud9 fans out there, there must be a very
they're
hard.
quiet
one,
these
days. Yeah. I was going to say, it's hard because Nip again can turn it up when they need to.
Nip's always been comfortable on Nuke as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
What is even Cloud9's map pool right now?
What was that?
No, I'm just thinking, Cloud9 plays
question. I
Nuke
don't know.
twice. Is Cloud9
Yeah.
secretly preparing Nuke and we don't know? Maybe you know that kind of information. We
They
don't
didn't
have
choose it both times though.
Yeah, but they let it be
Right.
a possibility, so they end
Yeah.
up playing Nuke twice. Like, I hope they have something. This Nuke is not a just to
not-
type
it's
having
not
fun map.
easy.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's really not. So
trust in Timmy Ta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
Not
okay.
here, not in this one.
I don't think
This
they're
on this
afraid to
tournament,
play
or?
it, but
is just
Yeah.
in general.
And then moving on to our final round. We've got the last round of the day, which is, I'd say going by Blast history, usually we've got quite a nice idea of who's going to be in that kind of, apart from Miami actually, and come to think of it, there was like 3 or 4 teams that could have been in the final. I think MIBR
was-
the last. I think in Miami it was the tightest you've ever had in
Yep.
Blast history. Usually by that, we've as far as history goes, we've always kind of known at least one of the finalists. But this one seemed like it was really kind of like anyone's game when we got into Miami. It was I think it was between like 3 teams.
I think we
getting
only
into
had
the last spot.
Liquid. Liquid was pretty much locked in the final, right? And the question
Liquid
was
was
who would
locked in,
join
but
them.
we had MIBR,
Yeah.
we had FaZe.
3
and
potential
teams
making it to
and
the final.
yeah, it was really
That was
close.
insane.
But at this point, obviously, Ents are going to be playing the local qualifier, so that'll be Movistar or Giants. But Astralis, Cloud9, their last map, they've confirmed Inferno is going to be their map. How's that looking for Cloud9?
that's,
It's just an early end to the day.
yeah, that's a quick one.
It's. I mean, at this point, do you think they're just thinking this is going to be a bit of a cakewalk, really?
Yeah. I would pick a more random, like I might even try Nuke if I was Cloud9 over playing Inferno versus Astralis. Like, I don't know.
Surely not.
I feel like you play it you know exactly what's going to happen, and then it happens.
Yeah.
Actually, I must
You
say
get
that
destroyed.
C9 did make some quick progress on Inferno. We played them, I want to say, in practice prior to playing EPO, and they developed a lot on their CT side very quickly, like certain banana control, and also like fighting brackets, like the way they developed that pretty quick. So I'm curious, though, actually, as to how they would play.
I mean,
Astralis
with the amount of
Inferno.
roster changes they've had, you have to imagine they've gotten pretty good at acclimating people pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because
And I
Very
can agree with that.
adaptable.
They're very good
Nomadic
at those
tribe.
first 2 weeks of a team.
just-
They know,
Yeah.
they know the sequence.
Do you
just
think-
sound like me right now.
Do you
Also,
think
you
more
sound like me.
people? Do
I
you
just
think
like
more
that.
people want to play against Astralis on Inferno now that Big beat them?
I don't think it makes any difference, to be honest.
No,
Like, in
It
people's
took a
minds,
lot
no.
from Big to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember there was a specific round, like 14-13, where Big did it perfectly, where they got in the CT spawn and they were able to walk back and they cut the rotates 2-2, but just came running through library. And it won them the game.
Yeah.
But it took a lot from Big. Like, it took certain rounds to set up a round like that on a very important round for them to lock in that W, to even go to OT.
Right.
So
Yeah. You want a snack?
You want
Jason?
some? We can help you out.
I want some of that chocolate popcorn.
and some chocolate
Send it over
popcorn.
here. Yeah.
Would you ever call chocolate chocky?
Nope, I would never
do?
say that. And I obviously say some weird things.
Yeah.
So
I like saying Brecky.
congratulations, you found the limit.
Brekkie.
Hell yeah, you do.
I like the
yeah.
brekkie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Australian
What?
slang, right?
Brekkie.
Brekkie.
That would be
Breakfast?
for like a chocolate biscuit or
Brekkie.
something, or
No,
No.
breakfast.
Yeah,
breakfast.
Brekkie.
Oh, right.
Brekkie.
But I imagine Australians would talk like
They're like,
that.
oh yeah, you want to get some
Alright.
Brekkie?
Some
get some
brekkie,
brekkie.
mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
get
let's
some
get some
And then,
brekkie.
Can you do that Australian accent?
Afternoon is RV, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, how was Sydney? You enjoy it?
That was absolutely beautiful.
Was it
I
good?
love Sydney. I love going to Sydney every year. That's like a heaven week for me. That's
Yeah.
like one of the events where I just put on my calendar. I'm like, I'm going to that one, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
Last year, the schedule worked out so perfectly. Me and Chad and Stunna and Henry, we all rented and Yanko, we all rented an Airbnb up at Bondi Beach, just like 45
nice.
minutes north of Sydney, or actually it might be south. I don't remember. It's a beautiful beach though.
Yeah.
North.
It's on my hit list.
Somewhere in that area.
I've always wanted to go. I've never been to Australia. Always wanted to go.
They have two
kinda
of,
far.
two of my
Yeah.
favorite
It's far.
bars I've ever been to are in Sydney. Really,
Down
they're
under.
phenomenal bars, yeah.
What
And
makes
I
what-
love the people.
What
there.
separates them from the others?
One of them is
Ambience.
yeah, one of them is like a rum bar, and they have it like very much decorated like you're just in like some island, like hole in the wall bar, and they have like super fancy rum drinks that they're like lighting on fire, and like they're delicious, and they make them phenomenal. And the other one is like an old school like Prohibition era speakeasy where they
Oh,
they
man,
have
I
like
love
about like 300 bottles of whiskey on the wall. They're playing all that Prohibition era music, and you're just
Wow,
sitting in like this
that's
dark
great.
basement, and
That's
you
really
just
cool.
drink whiskey, which I
Yeah.
enjoy.
They've got a place in London like that now where you actually, they encourage you to dress the part as well, come in like in Prohibition era kind of clothing. And
You just
they-
look
it'd be
homeless?
like a gin equivalent kind of thing.
No.
So. What?
You just look homeless.
You just come in wearing a sleeping bag. And that's, and then everyone's like, oh, hey, yeah, you can get in. Are you in the suit? Nah, sorry, mate, not tonight. Not tonight. And their other confirmed map in round 5 is Nip and Navi, and they're playing on Dust 2. That's a big game to kind of finish off the round, the kind of the group stage for both teams there. You mentioned both.
I'm feeling good about Navi at this whole event. Like finals, I'm feeling like it's like Astralis, Navi, Ents
Yeah.
right
I
now.
can,
Top
I can
three.
get on board with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So which one of those three is doing the show match? Or the aim duel?
Do you know
It's the crowd
and
bits.
Yeah, the standoff match is
Well,
like
no, but
No,
isn't it the
no.
third place team does
Exactly,
it, and then
yeah,
the
yeah.
crowd picks
Yeah.
their opponent?
that is how it works.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
how it is,
yeah.
yeah. I
you
think
can't pick a
I
top
think
three.
Ents will be
You think Ents is going to be
Third.
The show in the aim
Third?
duel?
yeah.
Have you guys had a chance to play the Blast standoff map? Have you had a chance to give it a go?
That map is so
People are
fun.
loving it. It's had
didn't
hundreds
know.
of thousands of downloads already. Like, people are really enjoying it.
I don't
I
get a
actually
chance to play
haven't played it.
Counter-Strike anymore.
What's that?
The irony of working in esports.
Yeah, you don't ever do any kind of
Sitting on
gaming,
my
yeah,
airplane,
yeah.
booted up the Blast standoff map,
yeah,
ran around with bots.
yeah. It's
Okay.
it is hard though to
Yeah,
have that balance, isn't it?
Playing that in Miami for like a few minutes.
Yes, that's right.
It was a lot of
I'll
fun
take it.
actually.
Yeah.
I just imagine like if you had two pros playing against each other, it would be super interesting because it's like obviously it's like they know they can just run up the ramp and take an aim duel,
Yeah.
but you kind of want to have some fun with it. You want to see if you can kill the other pro with a box or surf the
Surf
ramp,
around the
right?
side of the map.
Yeah, and like I think that's cool.
I think we had Cold Zero had that one bullet left, didn't he? Do you remember that in the last? I think it was MIBR versus
Like a CZ or something.
Cloud.
Oh, it
Cloud
was
Nine?
Fur who had like the one bullet in his season.
That's right.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And he had one bullet just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then he picked a shot at the end. It's against Cloud9, I think.
Yeah.
Was the,
I don't know why, but the one clip that sticks in my head is just Fallen just not even surfing.
Yeah,
Falls off the bat. I don't know. Like I don't know.
I played
work on the
I
game.
played the show match in Sydney with Fallen on my team, and we played Vertigo. And at that B bomb site, you're going up that stairwell. And
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like me and him going up this staircase, and he's got the AWP, so I'm kind of like working with him to try and get a pick. And all of a sudden, I got killed from somewhere where I could have sworn Fallen was looking. And I was like, where the hell did you go? And he's like, yeah, I fell off the map. I was scoped in, moving left. I didn't even realize it. And he just walked right off the map. And I was like, well, that explains a lot.
Yeah.
This happens a lot to Fallen. This is a common occurrence.
It's all
that
in the
he-
name.
It's
You
all
know?
in the name,
Yeah,
Fallen.
absolutely.
Oh.
That's his kind of trademark thing to do.
Falling.
If in doubt, just fall off the map.
Well, we know it. Yeah, never mind.
I think it's a great thing for the crowd as well, though. I think they actually really enjoy the standoff
They
because it's a
do.
lot. It kind of lightens, I guess, with the competitive environment. Everyone everyone's so intense on their team winning, and suddenly you get a bit more chance to kind of relax and kind of just watch something kind of happen before your eyes, and it's great.
Yeah.
I like the fact that you can get the boxes off the ceiling, surfing, all that kind of stuff is really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we've seen our rounds. We've had a chance to have a look at all the different maps. I mean, who do you think is going to be in the final? Who do you think is going to take home the Blast Pro Series Madrid Championship trophy? Let's go around the line. Who do we think? Potter, who do you think is going to take this, and who's in the final?
Final, Navi, Astralis,
Mm-hmm.
and I have to go with Astralis.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're going to bring it back.
Yeah, they're hungry.
They
I'm
are
sure
hungry.
they're surprised. They've got to be so
They're hungry.
surprised.
Picks up the snack.
Yeah, what the hell
I'm
is that?
hungry.
Now, where are those jammy dodgers? Yeah.
But I imagine, they've got to be so surprised from Miami. Jammy Dodgers?
Yeah, these things here look like jammy dodgers. But what did you call them? Like,
Yeah.
What did you call them? Like
If I were to
Jam.
Nest?
say that,
Something
that
about a
strawberry
nest?
would be a bird nest.
Is it strawberry?
In
in that?
a bird nest.
Yeah, because
No,
you can
no,
see it like
appetizing.
birdies and
I think it's strawberry. It's some sort of
looks like
jam.
it, yeah, like a
You have those. You have sometimes those chocolate cornflakes. You know, that you can.
These are chocolate cornflakes.
Okay, that to me
Yeah.
looks like a bird's nest. That looks nothing like a bird's nest.
What? This doesn't look like a bird nest.
It's a jammy dodger, mate.
You have to need imagination, right? You need that romanticism.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. We love our business.
Birds and everything.
Maniac, who's in the final for you? Who's going to take it?
No, I would agree with Christine. I think Astralis is actually dangerous because they've failed once. So like, they've been hurt. Like the ego's been hurt a little bit. They're back on like 100%. So I would put them in the final anyway. And because Navi have looked so impressive over the past few weeks/month, I don't see any two other teams in the final. Obviously, ENCE is going to be the dark horse, I believe. If ENCE ends up beating Navi or Astralis in best of one, opens up the possibility. But still, I think it's bound to be an Astralis Navi final. And the winner, I don't know. I would say just Astralis because I don't think they will do the same mistakes they did in Miami. And if they don't, then I would still rank them the best team in the world.
Okay. Nifty, going to you, mate.
Yeah, so I'll roll with Astralis Navi as well. I think if Astralis wins, I think they win 2-0, but second map is like 16-14-ish. I think if Navi wins, which I think is possible, they win 3 maps, but last map's kind of close as well.
Okay.
So I think it could go either way, but that's kind of how I think it would unfold.
All right, Moses. You with Astralis as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on.
Why not? Yeah.
We need
Yeah.
a devil's advocate.
I mean, you could make an argument for someone else, but Astralis probably going to win.
Why waste time?
The problem with Astralis is like whenever people ask me to like make a prediction on an event, I always just say, why don't we just remove Astralis from the equation? Because Astralis is probably going to win.
Yeah.
And that's who everyone's going to predict. So if you take Astralis out, like who would win in the rest of the field, right? And
Yeah.
it would probably be someone Navi. ENCE is a good dark horse. NIP can go deep, but I don't think they have the ability to win the event. So it's probably going to be Astralis, but I think Navi has got a chance as well.
Hypothetically, Cloud9 somehow just get
Good
to
one.
the top. just be out
I
there.
don't even like that.
In this weird dystopian future that will never happen. If it does, I mean, do you think with regards to the roster, they win an event like this? Do you think they kind of just the team suddenly goes, do you know what, this is our unit now, we're going to focus on this, or do you think the roster changes keep happening regardless because that's just the way things are?
If they
at the moment?
win
No.
this event, they've got to like change the game. There's something
I
wrong with
think-
the game. The game's all
I think-
broken. Something's messed up.
there's some kind of glitch going on.
I think C9 is too result-based.
Yeah.
I don't think they're a process-based team, so even if they do well at 2 events in a row and then they have like a very bad event, they're already questioning. So
Well, I think even
It's a bad way to
their
live, though, isn't it?
even their roster now, I think they gave that interview where it's essentially the core is Rush, Automatic, and Golden, and they have Cajun and Vice in on like short-term trial contracts. So I mean, I think if anything, those 2 players we'll see how they do.
they've set
think
themselves up to be more result-based.
Cajun was good last
Yeah.
class.
That's the thing.
I feel like there is going to be at least one roster change on Cloud9 within the next 3 months.
Yeah.
I can
That's
agree
my
with
I can
that.
definitely see that.
It's so complicated.
That's not
I
even a bold
understand.
prediction anymore, is it?
like-
No, it's not. I'm not trying to like shake up the world or anything.
Yeah. Like of those 2, you think? Like of Cajun and Vice, maybe?
I mean, the obvious one is to say that Vice will get swapped out for somebody, but that's such a. I mean, that's a project, and as you said, if they're going to be results based, it's kind of like a head scratcher of why they've picked up a project like that. He's never played at this level before. He's been in like the lower end of the pro scene in NA for quite some time,
Yeah.
or like the high level semi-pro scene, but this is a whole different level of competition for him to be playing against these players and these teams constantly. So, I mean, it's very much like sink or swim.
Yeah.
Do you think this whole trial thing is new or kind of new to Counter-Strike? Because I try and think 3-4 years ago, you would have to take a risk on a player and you would pick him up and you would try and really build something.
It's too expensive to do that now.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Now you just take someone and you say, listen, if in 3 weeks this is not going to go well, maybe that's it for you. So how do you actually build on that? And how do you feel as a player when you're in a lineup like Cloud9 who has approximately 41 days average of lineup? So you're actually 50% through. That's it. half my time in Cloud9 is there.
41 days.
Vice like walks into his bedroom every
He has,
night
like,
and
a
marks
calendar
off
on the
another
wall.
day.
Okay, this is day. Oh, this is 38. I have 3 days more. Like, how do you build with that team? Like, it's really
I
complicated.
think what disappoints me most about the Cloud9 roster changes is probably the best roster change they've made in their history as a team is picking up Stewie when he'd like never been in a professional team. And I don't understand, if you're gonna have this many roster changes, why aren't you doing that again?
That was
why
amazing,
don't you go
right?
find
Yeah.
like some random young just stud who's great in like pug games and everything? And
Well, that's
obviously
They
has the
did that
skill.
with Zelsis.
Well,
but
that's the
then,
thing. Zelsis and Vice are the same thing. They're not as good as Stewie was
Yeah.
before he was in pro.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It's very important in that process that like the org and also the players are on the same page. Like, okay, would we be okay picking up one of those younger players and building him, like giving him a year?
Yeah, you
giving
have to
him
take a
2
hit
years.
sometimes.
And then they
Like
did
you-
get, I guess. I mean, I imagine Cloud9 feels a little bit burned by the
Yeah.
Stewie departure after all that
Right.
as well.
Absolutely,
sure.
Yeah, because he's killing it. And lastly, before we go to a break, Lornas, who's your final? Who's your winner?
Yeah, I think Navi will make finals with Astralis, but I think it'll be 2-0 in the final.
Okay.
I thought Navi don't really play that well against Astralis most of the time. So
Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. Guys, thank you so much for coming to hang out.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been
you.
a pleasure. We've learned lots. We've learned lots today about each other and phrases, biscuits, and all sorts, and bath rituals, which is probably my
Talked a
favorite
lot
thing.
about milk.
We did talk about
Milk,
milk. Yeah,
the
milk is
different
definitely,
varieties of
Talk
milk.
about milk.
you ever had Bailey's and rosé?
It's the little things in life, you know?
I know someone that has 100%. Thank you guys
That's not
for
really
joining
a thing,
us.
is it?
It's going to be a great weekend. You'll be
Jesus
joining us
Christ.
all week along with your analytics and your casting, so can't wait for that. I'm actually going to be joined by Nip, Ninjas in Pajamas, very shortly after this quick break. But don't go anywhere. Loads more Blast backstage coming your way. We'll see you in just a bit.